Bush Radio.
Bush Radio. Bush Radio.
Bush Radio.
Your real talk radio.
Reading is feeding the mind. When he feeds his mind, his body is happy and he is rich. Feed the mind. Go to www.udarabooks.com. Udara Books, feeding the mind.
State Affairs with Edmund Obilo is live. Stay tuned.
Tajuddin Omidi is here to tell his story.
Àwọn Fúlàní wọ́n dà wá láàmú nílùú gẹ́gẹ́. Wọ́n lè tọrọ ọlẹ̀ tí wọ́n bá tọrọ ọlẹ̀ tẹ́ wọ́n gba gbogbo lẹ̀ wọ́n lé yẹn kó bẹ̀. Èyí tí wọ́n tọrọ lọ́wọ́ tèmi nígbà mo fún wọn ọwọ́ ti bí éka 4. Nígbà wọ́n gba tẹ́ tí ó dínà oṣù keje wọ́n bá dé yòókù tó kù tó yẹ kémi ní ọ̀mádá wọ́n bá láwọn gbà. Kò lè rí bẹ́ẹ̀ ẹ lè gbà èyí tí mo fún yín náà ni ẹ máa dà bí àtijọ́ sọ nìyẹn. A lọ sí àgọ́ ọlọ́pàá wọ́n bá wa dá sí wọ́n ní kí wọ́n má débẹ̀ mọ́ ń gbọ́ jẹ́ pé ó ti fún yín níwọ̀nba tí ó lágbára tó wọ́n ní túláàsì àfi kí àwọn lọ síbẹ̀.
Okay, what he narrated is how the Fulani people systemically take over lands. How? He said he was approached when they came to his land that they will like to cultivate just a portion to grow millet and feed their own family too. And being sympathetic to their cause, he allowed them to have a plot of land, about 4 hectares of land on his farm. And the following year, he was supposed to go and cultivate his own part. And they came, they said they want to take over that other part also. And he refused and said, no, you cannot, this is one meant for me. I gave you this other part. They said, no, is no longer relevant. They've made their investigation and they discovered that they can actually take over. So definitely someone must have boosted the morale of these Fulani people. And so I think the long and short was that
nígbà tí wọ́n ṣe bẹ́ẹ̀ táwọn ọlọ́pàá sọ pé kí wọ́n má débẹ̀ mọ́ bí mo ṣe lọ sóko nìyẹn wọ́n ṣe wá ní dédé aago 9 àárọ̀ wọ́n ṣe dé wọ́n kàn gba ẹnìkan gbà ń yọ ẹnìkan gbà wájú yọ wọ́n nílò ní ọmọ àdámọ̀ àfi kí àwọn lù ẹ́ pa síbí lọ́pẹ́lọpẹ́ Ọlọ́run ọba pẹ̀lú gbé tí ọmọ mi ń ké tí ajọ lóko ló ké sí àwọn aláàlá wa ni wọ́n fi yọjú wọ́n lù mí ní tọ́jà pé gbogbo wọn mi àfìgbà mo délé wù.
So what he said was that on a fateful day, after he has actually reported these threats from the Fulani tenants who now want to become the landlord to the authorities, and they've warned them not to encroach upon his land. After a while, they came back, and he was in the farm with his young son, and they attacked him. He was brutalized. So they attacked him actually with machetes. But I think he had some protective capability on that, and they switched over to using their stick as usual. And he said, kudos to the young boy with him who ran to call for helpers. He was brutalized and wounded upon his own farm.
None of them have mentioned AK-47. Is it that they've not seen the AK-47 you talked about?
Okay. Wọ́n béèrè pé eléyìí tí wọ́n tún wá bẹ̀rẹ̀ sí ṣe pé à ń gbé ìbọn rẹ̀ yìí kó má dàbí ẹni pé èmi tí mo pe àpéjọ yìí ni mo sọ ní àhesọ pé ǹjẹ́ a ti rí ibi tí Fúlàní ń gbébọn jáde ní ọ̀sán gangan ní ìlú Igangan. I would have loved Akọ̀wé Àgbẹ̀ to answer that.
Okay, Akọ̀wé.
Ǹjẹ́ a ti rí straight to the point.
Òtítọ́ ọ̀rọ̀ pọ́nbélé ni. Bí ọ̀rọ̀ kan bá ti délẹ̀ tí ẹ bá lọ sí agbo wọn wípé tó ọ̀dà Fúlàní o ẹjọ́ màálù bá ọkọ mi jẹ́ tí èṣe pé fìgìláńtẹ́ ọlọ́pàá ẹjọ́ lọ ojú ẹsẹ̀ ni wọ́n fa ìbọn yọ. Ọ̀pọ̀ ìgbà ló jẹ́ pé èmi fúnra mi mo gbé àwọn ọlọ́pàá fìgìláńtẹ́ lẹ́yìn tá a lọ kó wọn pẹ̀lú ìbọn tí wọ́n sì kó wọn wá sí Ìbàdàn. À ń ṣe ìpàdé pẹ̀lú àwọn agro ranger ní last year. Ibẹ̀ ni wọ́n ti pè wípé àwọn Fúlàní kan ò gbòòrò bí wọ́n ń bọ̀ láti ọ̀nà Ìsẹ́yìn. Nínú ẹrù wọ́n sì lóòdù bọ́n sí. Ibẹ̀ ni wọ́n ti fi ìpàdé lẹ̀. Àwọn agro ranger wá kó wọn wá sí Ìbàdàn lọ́jọ́ yẹn. So àwa tí a kùn la parí ìpàdé yẹn wọn ò lè bá wa parí ẹ̀ mọ́. Ẹ̀rí pọ́nbélé ni pé wọ́n ń gbé ìbọn rìn káàkiri.
Okay, he said that is just the truth, basically the truth, and that he has witnessed personally on occasions where they have gone to the land occupied by the Fulani, we call it Sudu,
Okay.
to go and accost culprits of farm plunderers, and they all come out with their guns and ask them to go back. So he also mentioned cases of meetings that they had with the agro rangers, they are farm protectors. And one of those cases, they have to move and accost Fulani coming with every weapon into Ibarapa land, coming from Iseyin.
Where are the local hunters? Where are they?
The vigilantes.
Yes, where are they? What are they doing? What are the vigilantes doing? Tell me.
Wọ́n ní kí ni ipa tí àwọn aṣọ́de wa bí àwọn fìjìláńtẹ́ kí ni ipa tí wọ́n ti kó lórí ọ̀rọ̀ yìí.
tí ọ̀rọ̀ Fúlàní bá ṣẹlẹ̀ tá a bá lọ pè wọ́n máa bá wa lọ wọ́n ó sì sa nǹkan pa wọn ó kó wọn sí àgọ́ ọlọ́pàá.
He said that they've been trying their best to curtail the menace. When you have a farm plunder, you report to them. In fact, let me say this: my brother is here. Actually, he's the president and the convener. He's Wale Oladokun.
Okay.
He's here personally. We go into farming together as a joint family business upon our father's land. So, which I mentioned earlier, that was very close to where Dr. Fatai Abrode was brutally slaughtered. So, and then I can tell you, sir, that when we went into that business and we had our hectares of cassava plantation, and it was plundered, totally plundered.
Okay, let's hear from him.
From him, okay. He can tell you.
Yes, let's give us a brief summary of what's going on.
Yeah, thank you very much. My name is Wale Oladokun, the president of IDA, that's Igangan Development Advocate. Yeah, this advocacy group was birthed because of the menace that we saw happening, and there hasn't been any solution to it. And apart from the developmental focus that the advocacy group has, the primary reason for setting it up is to rest the mind of our farmers so that there could be development, so that there could be peace. Where there is peace is where there is development. But this Fulani thing, I think, is way beyond what an ordinary eye could interpret. It's way beyond. I think there is a larger mission or agenda, on the part of the Fulani, which they want to carry out. And our base, Igangan, being, a very arable and very convenient and conducive, even friendly. We are so hospitable. So they came in gradually, like friends. But before we knew what was happening, they began to take over the land. They began to take over the land, and when we wanted to resist, they switched to violence. Serious violence.
Serious violence?
Yes.
When you say serious, break it down.
Yeah. Now, like attacking farmers openly. Broad daylight, they attack farmers.
With what?
With machetes and at times guns. So when you try to resist them, for instance, if they plunder your farm and you meet them there doing the thing, plundering, and you challenge them, then you are in fire because they will fight back.
How many of them?
Yeah. Well, usually they are in 2s and 3s. At times 2s when they are, herding their cows. But they have, people around in their sudu. So once you meet them there and they take to their heels, of course they speak their language to the cows, and the cows too pick off. So by the time you try to, maybe chase the cow away, before you turn around, all others will come. And God save the queen, they do not meet you there, because they could attack and, slaughter or brutalize you.
Now, is there a new form? Is there a criminal gang now beyond the infam invasion? Are there Fulanis present with AK-47 kidnapping?
Yes, there are. In fact, the cases of kidnapping are skyrocketed in our place. Initially, when we came into this, because we started writing that the rate at which kidnapping is going on in our town, Ibarapa generally, is too much. It's alarming. When we cried out through letter to the governor, they thought at first, the government thought at first that we were making it up, because we showed pictures. When you look at those pictures, they are not friendly to the eyes. They butchered people, slaughtered them, and all of that. And then kidnapping is by the way. They are making money with kidnapping, but their real focus is to take over the land. So, on one side, the kidnapping is going on, to fuel their mission. While on the other side, they are taking over the land.
But there are traditional rulers in Igogo.
There are.
Where are they?
There are. Now, let me state categorically clear here that the traditional rulers seem to be helpless because they have eaten the forbidden fruit.
Forbidden fruit.
Yeah.
Open up, hit the nail on the head.
What I'm saying is that, you see, many of them have been bought, by, the elite of the Fulani.
They give them cows.
They give them cows. They even have, they rear cows for them. They even give them money. They give them things. They give them property. We know this. And then they give them connections. They promise them, that once your son finishes from he is already guaranteed of a job somewhere, in Abuja or where.
Oladokun, have you guys confronted the traditional rulers?
Well, I think Nigerians in diaspora did just recently, after the death of Dr. Fatai Aborode. It will amaze you that they organized a Zoom meeting to call in the Igangan of Igangan. I was privy to the information just recently, but you see, regardless of your fact and figure, anybody that wants to defend himself will still defend himself. There will always be what to say to your own defense. But what we can see is that regardless of your defense, we are not in a proper state. So of course there were reasons. They were able. The chieftains have been, evading, the accusation levied against them as to being compromised so far. So, and like people will say, give me the evidence. I'm not saying I'm not guilty. So,
sir, I would like to sound this note of warning.
Go ahead.
Now, the Seriki of Fulani, that's what's his name now? Alhaji Saliu.
not anyone.
Should be warned that nothing must happen to any one of us here now, coming up to open up to the world about what is going on.
Why are you scared that something will happen to you?
Yeah, because there has been series of threats, and we even have one. We have an evidence. There have been series of threats. Anybody that go against his people or go against him or go against his people is indirectly going against him, because he is the one. It's like, he's a royal. He's an empire. He has established an empire for himself, and so nobody, like an emperor, nobody must challenge him.
I would like to see him. I would like to talk to him. I'll see what I can do. I would like to talk to the emperor you have just described.
Yeah.
Let me see if he has a story to tell.
I think Akowe Agbe can tell you more about him too.
Akowe Agbe, tell me about the Seriki.
Salu Seriki Fulani. Òun ni bàbá àsàlẹ̀ àwọn tí ń jiyàn gbé. He's a great, deadly terrorist.
You know, you see, we cannot make that conclusion yet. Because he's still a Nigerian. Now, when you say Seriki, is he the one that controls everybody? All the Fulani?
Àwọn mẹ́ta ni wọ́n tí wọ́n control Fulani, Hausa, Bororo.
So he's their leader?
Òun ni leader gbogbo wọn pátápátá.
So he defends his people?
Bẹ́ẹ̀ni.
Okay.
Ó dẹ̀ support wọn, ó ń gbèsè wọn lẹ́yìn. Àwọn wàhálà tí wọ́n bá dẹ̀ ṣe òun ló ń yọjú, òun ni ó lọ gbà wọ́n.
Have you reported him to the police?
Kì í ṣe pé mo report rẹ̀ nìkan. Akórawa dé zone 11 níwájú AIG ní ọ̀dọ̀ ìyá Kàlàfítè. Ẹ̀ẹ̀mejì ọ̀tọ̀ọ̀tọ̀ la lọ. Kì í wá ṣe ẹ̀ẹ̀mejì ó tẹ̀ mẹ́wàá tí mo lọ sí ọ̀dọ̀ AIG tá kó wọn lọ. Ẹ̀kejì nígbà tí
he said that he has not just reported. You know, you asked him, has he reported?
Yeah.
The Seriki to the police. He said he has not just reported. There are incidences they even have to go as far as meeting the AIG.
And so what happened?
Wọ́n ní kí wá ló ṣẹlẹ̀ nígbà tí ní ìpàdé pẹ̀lú àwọn AIG.
Ohun tó ṣẹlẹ̀ ni wípé wọ́n béèrè lọ́wọ́ wọn gbogbo evidences àwọn ohun tó jẹ́ ẹ̀rí ni mo dẹ̀ kó lọ. So
yeah, let's interpret as it goes.
He said he went with evidences.
Okay.
To show to them. Kí wá ló ṣẹlẹ̀, kí ni AIG ṣe?
Wọ́n sọ fún wọn wípé kí wọ́n lọ lé kí wí àlàáfíà wà. Ó yẹ kí òun tì wọ́n mọ́lé ní ibi yìí kí wọ́n dẹ̀ wá ẹni tó ní sí ọ̀fọ̀ ní tó ní ilẹ̀ káwọn tó lè béèlì wọn tó jẹ́ wípé kíní ṣùgbọ́n òun fún wọn ní àǹfààní iyèméjì benefit of doubt wọ́n wá ṣe agreement pé nǹkan kan bẹ́ẹ̀ ò ní ṣẹlẹ̀ mọ́ so gbogbo àwọn ẹ̀rí tí mo kó lọ àwọn ti kọ́ pé mi ṣáájú tí wọ́n ti kó gbogbo àwọn ẹ̀rí yẹn ṣùgbọ́n gbà tá a débẹ̀ wọ́n kàn béèrè wọ́n ní ò sí nǹkan kan tó ṣẹlẹ̀ ni wọ́n wá kó ẹ̀rí yẹn jáde sí wọn.
All right.
If I can make a sense of what he's trying to say, that on many occasions he defends the culprit. That
the police would defend.
No, the Seriki.
Okay.
So he said that the police authorities have actually warned that there should be peace in the land. They've communicated to him that he should try as much as possible to, and they actually signed an undertaking that there will be peace in the land. So he stood to represent the Fulani side and agreed that there will be peace. But of course, those agreements have been breached over and over again.
Okay, let's take about 3 calls before we go. I'll come back to you and we'll round off. What do you think about the subject? What can Sheyi Makinde do? Good morning.
Good morning, Edmund Obilo. I'm calling you from Igora. What I realize is that the Seriki has already bought the traditional leaders in that particular town. Igora is not that far from Igogo. But the thing is that in Ibarapa generally now, especially let me use Ibarapa as a case study. But the Fulanis, they normally buy cow for the police in the police station. And that is why when you bring any particular case to these particular people, they will know how to manipulate the issue so that at the end of the day, the Fulani will go scot-free. I'm talking from experience. It's not just ESA. And that is why tomorrow, unless we have God intervention and government intervention, we are now calling on Sheyi Makinde now that he should please intervene.
Hello.
Hello, good morning.
Yes, good morning.
I'm calling from Abeokuta.
Hit the nail on the head, sir.
You see, the issue of this Fulani and terrorists and the like, the thing should be looked into in a very weird dimension. It would be like a joke if I said this thing started from the Bible, the farmer and the herders. But the issue of security of Fulani in that community is going on. there's nothing Shimakide can do. The man is even powerful than Shimakide. I can tell you, the man has connection with Babangida, with Abdul Salam, with Buhari.
I wonder where you guys get all this information from.
I know what I'm saying, and I want you to call that man into your studio. He has his children all over Ibarapa. He has his children that are taking territory in all over the town in Ibarapa. And I know what I'm saying. And the people at the studio can even testify to what I'm saying. The man is so powerful. He's the very Fulani of your stage. You know, Sheyimakide said something the other time last week that all these Fulani and the bandits came through Okeogun into the state. They knew this agenda before they could have appointed him as their Seriki. How dare you appoint somebody that is back to remote area as the Seriki Fulani of your state? Look at it in that direction.
All right. Thank you.
Save the land.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. The lines are open. Let me hear from you. Good morning.
Yeah, good morning, sir.
All right.
So, presenter, thank you so much for this beautiful discussion. Though I don't live here, but I come here during the festival period. You see, there are two things I want to mention. I remember vividly in 1983, I was in bank that time. So they told us about the arrangement of Nigeria government that they want to Islamize Nigeria. I was one of those people that speak against it. I said it's not possible. Being a Christian and I've been in the Nigeria environment which is so large like this. But see what is happening now. It has come to say. So what I want to say is that in every rumor, there are elements of it here. And let me tell you, where I work, I don't work in this Yoruba land, but I'm in Nigeria. You know that we are talking about, some of them and that environment, that people, the cows they were rearing, they belong to one Nigerian in this south. In South Africa, I'm telling you truth now, that people they are paying them salary and they live in the environment and they're in this community. So majority of people that are people bought cars for them and they are one rearing for them.
All right.
That's the connection they have. So you see, what I want to let you know is that there are corruptions around, like in Nigeria, in our south here, among Gobas, that are already involved. So though I cannot rule out that issue evil. So that's why it's very difficult for them or anyone around here now to kick against them. You'll be surprised that even the Seriki you are talking about now, if they pull it too much, you'll be surprised that even our people here are going to be telling the AIG, cannot be able to release them. So what I want to suggest is this. We need the grace of God in what is happening in Nigeria. You want God to intervene. I won't lie to you. And not only that, it's an issue that even National Assembly has to come up, all the governors in the South have to come up with all these facts. And not only that, we have to eradicate issues of corruption.
Onwuka Christopher says they are already in Oyo State. Most of them are Okada riders waiting for the next command.
Hello, good morning, everyone.
Good morning, Mr. Abdul Salam.
Yeah, good morning, my people of Ibadan. I greet you in the name of Almighty Allah, and I pray that the Almighty Allah secure your land, Nigeria and Nigeria at large. But Edmund, with the report of these people, you can see that there is a Imakide going to Shaki. I think he has seen some kind of maybe intelligence report. Because if Ibarapa could be devastated by Herdsmen, I think more of it is in those areas in Okeogun. You can see that we have been getting reports in some other places like Akinyele, Iroko, and all the see, there is insecurity in the land. And it is high time our government replace the federal government to submit to allow them have state police, functioning state police, and that will help reducing the crime in our society. And the same goes, everybody should be security conscious. Thank you.
Thank you. Suleiman Tajuddin is on Edmund Obilo's page on Facebook. He says your state government should not depend on the federal government for security. He says we must secure our state by ourselves and not let Oyo State turn to another Boko Haram enclave. Oladokun Oladiro. Yes.
Ask a critical question, which I think we've not done justice to. What can Sheyi Makinde
do? Yes.
We as a group, Igangan Development Advocates, we want to speak not just for Igangan but for the entire Ibarapa. We want the governor. We want the governor to take some proactive steps. And the first is to organize a security summit. Security issues cannot be discussed only here in totality. We know the quickest way to end
the quickest way
to end this menace.
But you can't discuss that here. Don't worry, don't discuss it here.
That is just a part of it. Let him have a sit-down talk with youths, especially of this forum and of other forums, which we will recommend. And he can be assured of the diagnosis that we have made so far. And then our other demands have been tabled and we've presented it to him. We need a speedy response on those demands. That is what I would say.
Wale Oladokun.
Yes, sir.
What can Sheyi Makinde do?
Yes. Basically, two, broad categories. The long-term, solution and the short-term. At the short time now is that we want Governor Sheyi Makinde to set up a security network that will comprise of the locals.
Amotekun is there.
Amotekun has been bastardized. I'm sorry. Now, the thing is this. Even in the recruitment of Amotekun, our own people from the local area, from our own grassroots region, our people, the townspeople are not well represented.
It's just the beginning.
Now, just about 8 from Igangan out of 53 in Ibarapa.
It's just the beginning. It's just the beginning. More people will be recruited.
Now, they don't know the terrain like we do. They don't know, all these tracks that these people normally escape. They escape routes.
You have the vigilantes. There will be collaboration.
Now, that's what we are saying. They need to summon, just like you rightly said, a summit that will comprise of different interest groups, in this matter, in this security issue, so that all, interest will be represented, at the table. And so let's bring it together and then arrive at a consensus, security-wise.
Okay, before we go, Adedeji Adiolu, yes, can you give us your parting shot? Are you hopeful that this problem can be solved?
Well, like my other colleague has said, the best way forward is to have a round table where we table our diagnosis, like you said earlier on, how we can go about it to get this solved. Because I believe this can be solved.
It can be solved.
Yeah.
Okay, Ashola Shongotikun, yes.
Thank you, Sir Edmund. Yes, we need the governor to come to our aids.
Why not Buhari? Nobody has said Buhari should come. Buhari is the commander-in-chief.
This is Oyo State. This is Oyo State.
Or is it because Buhari is a Fulani man, you feel you cannot help him?
Okay, let's be factual.
This is Oyo State. We need to start from our state first.
As far as I'm concerned, as far as I'm concerned, the disposition of the federal has been a little bit of being tilted towards a specific race, which we all know, unless we want to.
But remember, even Buhari State, Katsina is on fire. Bandits are killing people every day.
So I will not want to go into an headlong debate, but I've also been in the north, and I think with my stay in Kebbi State revealed that when we talk about northerners being killed and massacred, of course there will be Fulani collateral damages, but we fail to reckon with the other tribes that lives in the north, the Kamberis, the Tukawas, and all of those people who have been subjugated already, who are indigenous owners of their land, who could not farm on their land again. If you want an Aikimi, that is the ballet, which is like synonymous to a ballet here, an Aikimi in Kebbi State to approve anything, a Fulani must approve that.
All right. It's a complex talk.
Yeah.
We just have to solve the problem.
Yes.
We just have to solve the problem. We have raised the alarm.
Yes.
Igangan has refused to go to farm.
Yes.
I hear that investors who have invested millions in farmlands in Igangan are running away. They have lost their millions. You know what that means? Food insecurity. It's a burning problem, and I know the governor is worried. I know. Any governor should be worried. Local government chairmen should be worried. Even Fulanis should be worried. Oladokun Oladino, thank you for featuring on State Affairs.
Thank you very much for having us, Edmund. I would like to call you that.
Thank you. Baba, thank you for coming. And Wale, thank you very much.
Thank you, Sir Edmund. I really appreciate it.
Thank you. Thank you guys for coming.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Sir Edmund.
My name is Edmund Obilo. After this break, I'll be discussing with Teslim Folani. Then, Festus Adidayo will break down his article on Tinubu, so don't go away.
Bush Radio.